UFC 289 this weekend, and guys, today I have two fighters on the card that I will be cheering for more than any other fighter on the card. We're going to get into those two fighters and why I am cheering for them, and hopefully you can cheer for them with me. I'm going to give my reasons why. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Before we do, I do want to say hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about UFC 289. So, like I said, two fighters that I'm going to be cheering for more than anybody else. And the first fighter is going to be Dan Ige. Now, Dan Ige is taking on Nate the Train Landwehr, and I am a very big fan of Nate the Train. I am going to have my heart hurt watching this fight, and spoiler alert, another fight as well, because I really, really like both guys. However, the reason that I'm cheering for Dan Ige over Nate Landwehr, and again, love Nate the Train. I would cheer for him against so many fighters, but Dan Ige is finally coming off of a win after such a horribly rough road of the toughest opponents in the entire division. And those fights, you could argue, like one of them against Josh Emmett, everybody thinks that he won. He had close fights, and he belongs at the top of the division, Dan Ige. He is one of the most underappreciated fighters on the entire UFC roster because he is so good. He can contend with the top. He's just like barely a step behind these guys. So he finally got out of that little slump with an amazing KO win in his last fight. And I would love him to continue making his way to the top of the division. Imagine the story. Just imagine the story. If 50K can make it all the way to the top of the featherweight division with the amount of adversity that he's faced, he would have one of the best resumes in the entire UFC. I hope Dan Ige beats Nate Landwehr. And again, I love Nate, but Nate has a future ahead of him and probably a bigger star future than Dan Ige does. Like, people are starting to know Nate the Train. They're going to love Nate the Train. Even if he loses this fight, you know he's going to make it competitive and wild. His stock's going to rise no matter what. Dan Ige has quite a bit to lose, especially as the number 13th ranked contender right now. I hope Dan Ige wins, but this fight's going to tear up my heart a little bit. So, speaking of fights that are going to tear up my heart, though, we have the next fighter that I'm going to be cheering for, Beneil Dariush. I hope Beneil Dariush wins over Charles Oliveira. And I hate this fight, too. And it's just these two fights on the card, guys. It's just these two fights because I love Dan Ige, Nate Landwehr, Beneil Dariush, and Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is also up there with among my favorite fighters, and probably you guys as well. However, I like Beneil more, honestly, as a person. And the biggest reason why I'm cheering for him over Charles Oliveira, because it's tough, man. It's going to be pulling at my heart. Beneil hasn't had that title opportunity yet, and he has had to fight the toughest of the tough guys to get there, and he's finally put together a win streak without any hiccup right now. He's been beating guys and looking better and better every single time that we see him, and he's finally almost there. If he beats Charles Oliveira, he's going to finally get that title shot that he's wanted for so long, and I don't mind his matchup against Islam Makhachev. That's why I want to see Beneil win more than I do Charles Oliveira, because Charles Oliveira has already had his title run. And while he still can get another title run, I'm not even if he loses this fight, he can come back and continue working more and more and more, right? But Beneil hasn't had that opportunity yet, and I really hope that he does. And Beneil, how old is Beneil Dariush? I have it up here just right now. I know he's getting up there, 34 years old. We don't know how long Beneil's going to do this for, and he takes a lot of damage in his fights. So this could potentially be, especially because Beneil isn't exactly a star, this could be his last shot. Unless he comes in and just stomps Poirier, Gaethje, some other guys, you know what I mean? This is probably going to be his only shot, and that's why he has my full support. I love Charles Oliveira, and I love Nate the Train. But today I'm going to be cheering for Dan Ige and Beneil Dariush. More so Beneil Dariush. He's been one of my favorite fighters for a very long time. That's why he's got my support, guys. I'd love to know what you think down below. What fighters at UFC 289 are you going to particularly be cheering for? Let me know your reasons down below, and let me know who you are. I would love to talk about it there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you want to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there will be 2 videos on the screen right here for you to check out. Check them out, guys. I will see you there. Take care.